Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. I am your host, Kurt Walker Jr., broadcasting live from the Blue Room at the South Florida Bitcoin Citadel. It is Tuesday. It is 2 p.m., and that's why you're watching. So if you're watching live, first of all, thank you. And second of all, please like, subscribe, and hit the alert bell. If you could share across social media, let the world know that you are listening to the show. Well, shoot, that really helps a whole lot. Let the world know that we are live. We are taking questions from the troll box, and we are going to be talking to a face that has not been on the show yet before. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of interesting stuff. How to add Bitcoin stuff to the sports, the sportsing. I'm really so okay. A little bit of backstory. I am not a huge sports guy. Like, I know there are guys that are like, it's been March Madness here, and I live right by FAU, which is a school that never gets into any of the good stuff, and they made it into the Final Four, and so everybody's exploding like, oh my god, you must be so excited. I'm like, sorry, I don't watch the basketball. I will a little bit. I'll go to a game. I'm not one of those like hardcore anti-sports people, but I'm also not going to know all the lingo. I'm a technologist outside of doing jujitsu and combat sports in general. But if you're a big sports fan and you're a Bitcoiner, this show is going to be an absolute blowout because, well, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff going on here. So one of the things that's crucial for those of you who know, I've got a lot of Polish connections in my life, and my guest being Polish is not just, he's not just one guy. There's a whole Polish BSV crew out there, including Marcin Zetly. I'm sure I screwed that up, and I'll be corrected once we get back. But go Owls, baby! I'm getting the Brandon Ward, who's an FAU alum, rocking and rolling here. But we're going to be talking about basically adding Bitcoin to sports and gamification of the process and NFTs and all the other good stuff. If you've been paying attention to the news, there's all kinds of interesting stuff going on literally everywhere. Nobody is going to be surprised to hear, unless you are completely disassociated from everything, but the CZ, the Binance, looks like there were 300 internal accounts that were counter trading against clients over there, the wash trading and the nonsense, which I've been saying was going on for years. So I'm going to take a little mini victory lap here that the stuff's leaking. Of course, they're denying it, but I think the Signal conversations have leaked, which, by the way, Signal's not super encrypted, everybody. So if you thought you were using the most private system in the world, by the way, whoever uses the exit nodes, whoever controls those nodes, actually can read your stuff. So just so you know, Mr. Moon is also he's our producer today, and it's been 5 or 6 weeks since Alex Moon has been in the captain's chair over there. So Alex, good to have you back. I miss you, buddy. It's been a good while, and glad you made it out of Thai prison, and that we get to keep that joke going basically forever. So if you want to cue up the ad, don't cut me off, please. I will be speaking at the London Blockchain Conference at the end of May. I believe it's May 30th to June 1st or something like that. But if you can get tickets, bring yourself all the way out to London, England. We're going to be having a hell of a conference out there. I'm super excited. I get to present on like Bitcoin 101 stuff, which is something I wanted to present on that stage for many, many years. I'm very excited to share the 101 level stuff to the blockchain world. And I would be really, really, really happy if you would come join me. So don't be afraid to go and do that. So Mr. Moon, play the ad and we will.
Industry shifting ideas can start from individuals or people committed to solving global and industry issues. This is your chance to network with experts and connect with a future collaborator at the London Blockchain Conference. Throughout history, significant innovations have resulted from successful collaborations. In 1903, brothers Orville and Wilbur Wright made it possible for us to achieve our dream of flying. In 1977, Steve Jobs' marketing flair and Steve Wozniak's engineering magic helped jumpstart the personal computer revolution. In 1990, Tim Berners-Lee worked with systems engineer Robert Cailliau to pave the way for the World Wide Web. The world would look very different without the innovations of these incredible collaborations. Come to the London Blockchain Conference, where visionaries like yourself convene and create value partnerships that could lead to future collaboration and the next world-changing solution.
That ad was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the show. This is your first time on the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. It's the first, I think, live stream anywhere for you. Your first live interview, as I understand it.
No, it is not. So thank you for hosting us. It's like already been experience with this kind of live stream. So
beautiful. Right. So welcome.
Thank you.
Let's start off. So I have to ask everybody when I'm getting acquainted with somebody, what is your Bitcoin story? When did you first hear about it, and how did you end up in a business that is in the Bitcoin space?
Okay, so to be honest with you, the story is very, very, how to say this, very funny way. The co-founder Rafał called me like 4 or 5 years ago, and he said, "Mike, I do have electricity for free, so let's mine some Bitcoin."
Cool.
So whenever I was just trying, to discover this space, never going blind, so I just bought a lot of books, go through the online courses. That's why I just get much more knowledge about the blockchain technology, start making notes, and through that because I'm kind of guy who's love to design, to create everything. So that's why we got the idea to build the fun engagement platform, what we're already doing right now.
Beautiful.
And I'm glad that we didn't start mining Bitcoin. So
brilliant. No, it's funny. I basically did the same thing. It was like, hey man, I got to get into mining. It was just 2013, and I was like super lost. It took me a month to even figure out if I had my nodes synced, but it was crazy. So awesome. Let's talk a little bit about what's your background. I mean, you're obviously an adult. A lot of these startup guys look like they're about 20.
I'm quite by the older, but still feel like 27. Type of Viking, never surrender, always fight. Okay, I'm the entrepreneur with the more than 20 years of experience in the business. Okay. I do run one of the biggest event agency here in the south part of Poland. The Expedition Club used to be a climber, so I have I can say almost 20 summits over 10,000 meters above the sea level. Okay, used to be the basketball player in the second Polish professional league, and used to be a basketball referee with 10 years of experience with the whistle on the field. So that's why you can say it's like have a lot of background with the sport industry and the business industry as well.
Oh, that's very cool. So a lot of relevant experience in sports. So I'm looking at Zetly, and admittedly, I did not have. Or actually, is it the right way to pronounce it? Is it Zetly?
Yeah, it's Zetly. Exactly. Okay. The name comes from the Z coins, which is our the Zetly coins. So we just when we're young, we just start playing next to blocks because there was no telephones when I was young, etc. So we used to spend most of the time out and playing football, etc. So we have some kind of game that we just threw the coins, whoever be the coins next to all that guy was winning. So that's why I just decided to put the name as a Zetly, because the native our token is the fuel for the whole platform.
What does Zet mean?
Zet. It's a shortcut. It's a shortcut of the Polish national coin Zetka.
Okay.
That's why.
Cool.
That's why.
All right. No, it makes sense. So in looking at the platform, it looks sort of like a mix of like a loyalty program, or well, it makes me think of that. It's so for me, I'm thinking about if I were to join, pick my favorite basketball team, and maybe I become a super fan of some sort, which lets me get a little bit of extra access to some things because I'm a big fan. Is that roughly what you guys are doing? But what are you trying to solve with Zetly and Zet token and all of that?
Okay, so the main problem, which is already in mine existing in this. So the sports clubs and the sports institution, they only have one product, right? So they're only able to sell this product during the Saturday games, the weekdays, wherever the games go on. So in my opinion, I mean, just to creating, let's say, some kind of solution of fan engagement, influencing fans for the teams, by providing them a lot of models when, institution can generate and the clubs, they can generate the revenue streams on the same way. The fans can be much closer to the fans. So that's why we just got the idea to put it all together in one piece.
Interesting. So, well, and that's an interesting thing. I've worked. I come from the combat sports, so I was an MMA coach for.
Really? You don't like it?
for a number of years. Yeah, I was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach on an MMA team. So
nice. That's nice.
I would be a corner man. It's actually how I met my wife. My wife is an MMA or retired MMA fighter.
But she's Polish, right?
She is Polish, yes.
Well, there you go. Do you know some? Do you know some? I mean, words in Polish, or just one?
Just my one phrase. So is to jest jedyne zdanie, jakie znam po polsku.
All right. So this is the only sentence what I know in Polish. I mean,
yes.
Translating from Polish into English. All right.
So I'm sure the Polish fans are happy to hear it.
We as a Polish nation, to be honest with you, we are everywhere, right? As you know, the Polish nation is like 40 million. Somebody says that the second biggest Polish city is Chicago.
Yep. That's where I'm from originally. I live in Florida now, but I was born and raised in Chicago. I lived there for 35 years.
All right. I used to have a nice, let's say, a story with the US when I was a student. I used to live 2 years in South Lake Tahoe, California. So when I was young, I became the 21 blackjack dealer. So that was pretty nice, awesome vacation, believe me, But really cool. When we just jump out of the work, we just been climbing, snorkeling, whatever, visiting the national parks, and during the shift hours, we just deal the cards. But I quit gambling. I'm not a gambler.
No, that's fun, man. I love a good game of blackjack. So, all right, let's talk about what is the real problem. So when I think about back to my MMA coaching days, we had athletes that were, pro or semi-pro, and always struggled with management and sponsorships and trying to deal with, especially in MMA, there's not a lot of money unless you're a very, very big star. So you could even be a UFC fighter and barely be making $60,000 or $70,000 a year, which is not even enough to really live near a good camp and things like that. So what are some ways that we can maybe do better, let fans directly interact with their favorite athletes and some of that? What are you guys working on?
We're just working to create a unique ecosystem, which on the one side will generate the new revenue streams. The business model is the shared profit win. So the clubs will generate the lifetime through the blockchain technology. The commission from each percentage taken on the platform. On the other side, the platform will build the multi marketplaces, because as you probably seen, we do have a few models. Each of the different models will be, let's say, direct to the different fan engagement. Mm-hmm. So starting from the first one, the Zetly Sports is the model. Mostly, let's say, focused on generate the fan utility fan tokens and organize the fan engagement around it. So over here, whenever the clubs, so this is the very important thing, whenever they create the secondary market of the conscious users, means the experienced fans who will be able, to connect the wallets, use the fan tokens, buy, sell it, exchange, etc., etc. So they will be able to create, let's say, independent revenue streams, independent from any sponsorship deals or through the government companies, etc. The second model, the digital collectibles, it's through our launchpads, the clubs and the individual athletes. They will be available to, let's say, to release the card collections, right? Mm-hmm. The NFT moments, same like the NBA Top Shots. The NFT creator, one of my favorite one, which allows, because the sports has always been based on the positive emotions, so it's like to catch the emotions. So this model mostly going to, let's say, demonetize the positive sports emotions. So let's imagine you win the MMA champion or titles, right? So you just, in the dress room, you're making photo. You can, switch. You can switch this photo into NFT. Mine the NFT, put it the protocol, and just release on the market. So this this model will be something that can boost your fans, and at the same time can give you like the independent revenue streams. The other models, which are the play to earn games and the crowdfunding, which is the very problem in the young promising athletes. They never have enough funding to raise the career. So we've been thinking about to provide as many solutions to the sport industry as we can, right? Some companies, some people are trying to recognize as a main competitor to the socios, but we do not recognize as a competitor to the socios, because we do offering a 60-70% different one based on our strategy and education, which is going to be a very important part of our project.
Well, it's a lot of things. And as I looked at your website and did a little bit of research, you have quite a big team too. So how long have you been around, and how did you go about acquiring the talent to create this company?
You can believe it or not, but we started from zero. Let's say like Rafa, when he called me, to mine the Bitcoin, and we just get an idea to start building the platform. Nobody knows us in the blockchain industry, so I just made a couple phone calls, and the LinkedIn is the very, very powerful tool. So through the LinkedIn, I'll start, catching people. Organize the meetups. So I'm, let's say, so much grateful to the Marcin Zetecki, the guy who's working on the BSV. He was one of the first guy who I met in Poznan. I just jumped to car, went to Poznan a few hours. We just had a lovely conversation, and he said, "Mike, I'm in. I never been a support and being advisor to any project, but your ambitions, your powerful, ideas, what you represent by yourself." So he said, "I'm in." So through that time, we just with Rafa, we built a very strong team. So there is also Marek. Marek is our CLO. He's the former president of the Polish Basketball Federation and the former president of one of the most well-known Polish football club, Górnik Zabrze. Believe or not, but Marek was my examiner 20 years ago when I was becoming a basketball referee. So I come to Marek and I said, "Hey, Marek, I got an idea which can solve a lot of problems in the Polish, not only Polish basketball." So when I explained him about how to tune off the fan tokens into real money, how to influencing fans to the teams, how to build independent new products, not just selling advertised spots on the games or on the jersey. He said his mind was blew up completely, but after a couple of weeks he called me back, "Hey Mike, that's a very powerful tool, let's do this." So going further, we met a lot of people, and since couple years I'm so thankful to all of the team who support us so far, because we're still doing this non-profit bono. Nobody gets money from building us and expanding this team. So I'm so much thankful to everybody.
Sure. So that actually leads to my next question. When you have a lot of people, there's a lot of salary requirements and those.
No, there are no salaries. Everybody, including us, we sign up the soft agreement. So we all working for piece of our native token Z.
Okay, cool.
So we all believe it, as you can see.
Yeah. No, that's bullish on the business for sure. So how does that work? So I noticed it was a Polygon token. It's ERC20 compliant and all of that. I imagine with Marcin, how do you say his last name?
Zetecki.
Zetecki. Okay.
Yeah, Zetecki. But there's another Marcin Zarakowski. I hope that he's watching us. So Zarakowski.
He's great.
The managing staff director of the BSV.
Yep. So what is BSV being used in your stack, or like what is the relationship between the Polygon stuff and the BSV stuff? Like what are we looking at?
Okay, when we were making our architecture of mostly of the NFT use case in our platform, we realized that whenever the mass adoption will show up and there will be thousands and millions transaction on the Polygon blockchain. So we plus there is no blockchain storage on the Polygon. So whenever you mine the NFTs, they are not on the blockchain, but only when the NFT is sell. So when I met Marcin told me, "Hey Mark, the BSV is the fast, it's scalable, it's fully secure. So plus there is the 4 gigabytes. The blockchain storage on each block. That told me, Mike, let's move it on to the BSV. So I was invited to the Dubai last year for the global convention, BSV center, and through all the stage, because I was one of the speakers. I officially announced that after our IDO on the Polygon, because our token on the Polygon, but afterward we are planning to build the cross chain together with the BSV. Probably Zetly will be first of the use case. I know that there are funds in the Bitcoin Association, so I will be happy, to build the cross chains with the BSV.
Cool. Now that's well, frankly, really encouraging, because it's something that I've been pushing people to do for a long time. That like, hey, if you have a successful business model, you can only go so far with an Ethereum-based token. Like, you can get some customers, maybe even thousands or tens of thousands of customers, but if your app gets very popular, you're going to break that network.
So, yeah, exactly. To be honest with you, we do not build a platform for existing crypto space and the people who are very familiar how to use the wallets, how to swap tokens, send it, whatever. We are building for the fans, and the fans are still not in the blockchain, in the Web3. So from the fans perspective, it doesn't matter on which a blockchain, on which fundaments the application is on. The application has to work, has been fast, and the transaction fees has to be low. So the BSV is the perfect solution.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So thinking back about the team, because I'm always impressed. Like the people are always the part that matter to me. Like everybody has a big idea. I meet so many people that have, hey, I've got a business idea, and then they don't do it.
Somebody told me that most of the VCs, the investors, they're not buying the project; they buy teams.
The team, yes,
exactly.
So, what's the? I keep hearing that like Poznan specifically has like this big blockchain culture or something.
Exactly.
Why is that? Why Poznan? Why did that become a hotspot for blockchain and software development?
To be honest with you, I cannot answer you that question. Why there is a Poznan? I know there is a huge community in Warsaw. Couple days ago this weekend, there used to be the biggest, the Invest First in Krakow. So the whole second floor was on the second, and the third floor was on the blockchain and the Web3 project. So it seems that the Web3 and the blockchain getting much more popular right now here in Poland. But still, in my opinion, this is my private opinion, it's still some kind of blocked by the mainstream media here in Poland, maybe by the government. Whenever you can see, let's say in France, the Macron invited the CEO of the Sandbox. A front page L'Equipe, everybody's writing about the metaverse, what the Sandbox is delivering. Here in Poland, you cannot find such a thing. So in my opinion, it will change. It will change whenever the government they will realize that here in Poland bunch of very intelligent, skilled people. If you can see, we are the only nation in Europe where you can see the dream job is a developer. Truly, is a developer.
Interesting.
The British, they wants to be, some kind of writers, whatever.
Yeah.
We as a Polish, we are the only nations with the dream job developer. So you can imagine what kind of potential here it is in Poland, right? There are lots of very experienced people, including our software company, the Leo Code. The owner of this company, whenever the Mangots starts running in Japan years ago, he jumped into the plane and just to meet this guy, because and that's why. So we are crazy about the new technology, because everybody recognizes the new technology as a potential Swift, right? Me myself as well, right? I do recognize, and I hope that all of our team recognizes a huge chance for everybody. You can change your life whenever the transformation is ongoing. We are going to implement the new technology. Everybody knows that everything will be put on the blockchain, starting from the finance industry, finishing on the music industries, including the sports industry as well. So it's a huge chance for everybody. So yes, a couple days ago during the debate, I was taking part on the debate about the education. So I just tell to the audience, guys, it's a huge chance. Don't miss it. But you cannot join it without the proper education. So we just, for us, even for Zetly, the education is very important, part of this project. I think that most of the Western clubs who already launched their fund tokens, they screwed up. They screwed up it because, truly, they just keep focus on monetize, how to make money.
Yeah.
And right now, the management staff of the clubs, they have no tools to build the fund engagement, because most of the fund tokens are in possession of the crypto traders.
Right.
So and in
my
opinion,
true. I know it's true.
Yeah, and in my opinion, they just did it too fast, right? Without proper a strategy, education. It takes time. Web3, it's not like I will say one-time entrance, right? When the monetization is right behind the corner. It's like a technology which is going to stay with us probably for at least 10, 20 years. So you have to be very well prepared, put a lot of things on education, prepare the strategy, warm up, and then release any kind of digital asset collection. Without it, completely nonsense.
It's funny. I mean, we have a very similar problem with all kinds of things here. I've said for years that, hey, even Bitcoin, like no asset in the history of the world has been used primarily for trading among professional traders. Like, it is used for something in the real economy that establishes its value, and then you're trading that. And now, Bitcoin's been around for almost 15 years, and we still haven't gotten to the point where it's anything other than just like investments and trading. And so there's no
utility. It's like just buy and sell, plus the I don't know 20, 30 times, so people are just afraid of it. On the second way, people see that you can make a lot of gains, so it's like going or not going. So it's like
well, and then it makes it easier for the governments to say, hey, we're just not going to participate in that. Like, it's just a weird Ponzi scheme or whatever is going on.
We know what is a Ponzi scheme on this market.
Yeah. Well, and now even like the White House in the US, they just put out guidance something like 2 weeks ago, basically saying that the White House's official position is that it's basically all a scam. And it's like, it's hard to argue with them as an advocate. And I say, well, it could do all of these really cool things. And then but it's not happening yet. Why isn't it happening?
In my opinion, it's a part of distraction, right? All of the things what's going on, the announcements, the CEOs of the Goldman Sachs, etc., when they announced the Ponzi scheme, etc., it's just the distraction. On the other hand, behind the scenes, they pump their pockets. They pump the pockets with the digital assets. Everybody knows what the XRP will be for, the XLM and everything like that. So we know who invested on the Ethereum in the very early stage, right? And right now they are just put it on the SEC case that this is a security token offering, etc. So in my opinion, whatever they say, do it opposite way. This is my answer. This is my answer.
I mean, you have to counter trade the market a little bit. If everybody was right about everything, there would never be a trade.
Of course.
So let's talk a little bit about the app and the roadmap. Like where are we at today? Can I participate in Zetly today, or do I need to wait for some thing to happen?
Okay, right now you cannot participate it unless you are, let's say, the guy who would love to contribute our token based on the SAFA agreement, because the private sale is ongoing. It will take us up to the end of June. Right now we are preparing for the pre-sale on our token. So it will be like limited to whitelist, which is going to be offered to our community. End of June, we are planning to launch the idea on probably 12 launch pads. 6 of them that are already confirmed. The remaining lists will be released probably in the following weeks. And right after mid of July, we are going to be listed on one of the exchanges. It's all about the fundraise. On the parallel way, we are on the pre-seed approved by the FCA in the UK with our advisory company POE and the Chris. So it's like a lot of stuff's going on. Yes, you cannot get a token right now, but you can just subscribe our channels, be on the track. Whenever the whitelist will show up, you are always welcome, just to be part of our family whenever the token will be listed. So on the other hand, behind the scenes, we are right now talking with several clubs regarding our pilot program, which we launched with Robert and Transmira, regarding providing and creating the digital twin of any kind of stadium here in Europe. I think that in next few weeks we will be able to release the big announcements about it, but I cannot tell you about the city and the club.
Yep.
All right. Another let's say a lot of conversation. I will say not negotiation, but the conversation to joining the platforms on this stage without the releasing the MVP, but because like I told you, the education, preparing the education for the clubs, for employees, release and prepare the strategy, it takes time. So we kindly invite the institutions, invite the clubs to join us right now, because on our, let's say, originally written strategy for the clubs, the roadmap, it's shown that the clubs need at least 1 year to build the secondary market. So we still have a time for it, so that's why you can join. If you are the club, you can join us right now. We will help you out. We will educate your staff. We will prepare you to release the strategy, and we will start boosting and communicate with your fans. But on the other hand, right, we are still on the pre-MVP stage, on the IT stage.
Sure. Well, I always wonder, the tech is one big part of thing. The tech can take years to build, but I always
it's
feel
all
like,
about the money. It's all about the money.
No, for sure. So the other thing though is always business development. I always tell people, like, hey, even if you build a really great app, do you have a really good salesman? And I always think that it's really important to have somebody that can open doors, warm up leads, and then you need somebody, maybe it's the same person, or maybe it's a team that can close the deal, actually sign, a 3-year agreement with somebody to be an exclusive partner or something. And it sounds like you're doing this work. If you're, reaching out to these clubs, and that's the kind of person that needs to have some very powerful relationships, right?
No, actually, you don't need a power relationship. It's about your behavior, your type of the person who you are. I'm a type of Viking, the let's say the true Vikings always reach for glory. They never surrender. They don't know the words of give up. So me myself, if you throw out me from the window, I will come from the other side of the building and try to make you into the platform. Right now I'm the main person who's responsible for relation with the clubs.
Okay.
So trying to do my best.
Well, what does that process look like to you? Are you, and you have a background in all of these athletics, but is this like call on the phone, or are you like going and trying to meet people at events?
It's a tough. When we are talking about the digital twin and the pilot program, it's much more easy because this robot technologies already existed, is patented, so we can just show them the real existing, not the product, by the vision how it can be built in the next few months if there is a budget for it. So it's much more easy talking. It's much more easy conversation to get the clubs on board, but still they do not have, in my opinion, sufficient education about the digital twin, the solution, what the advantages, what they can bring to the clubs if they will implement it. But when you're talking about just to join the Zetly platform, means build the community, release the fan token, build the NFT marketplaces. Still, in this part of Europe is, in my opinion, inefficient education in the clubs. Plus, in the sport industry is a very tough, industry to deal with. They always have something to do. They just, fire the coach. They just, let's imagine I'm calling to the Polish, Football Association a few days ago when they screwed up and they lost the game against Czech Republic. Nobody wants to talk to you. So there is you have to be like smoothly, you have to check the game, to check the scores. If they win, okay, the attitude to talk to it's much better after the losing game. So they always, and in my opinion, most of the clubs, they still do not reevaluate the budget. They still don't have a reserve budget for implementing the new technologies. They do not recognize it that the new technologies, it can be boost for them. It can be, provide a lot of, new income, revenue streams, etc. they still treat the new technologies or something. Okay, if we'll have a time or some money, maybe we can just to take a look on it. It has to be changed. So in my opinion, a lot of clubs they have to build the new standards about how to build, let's say, because in my opinion, let's say the fixed data is the future gold, right? So the clubs who will not analyze the data, the clubs who will not, start, releasing the personalized content, they will lose it. They will be behind it. When you talk into the Western clubs like the Sevilla, Barcelona, Juventus, Milan, etc., they already do it. They are, in my opinion, like 10 years, ahead comparing to the Eastern European clubs from the Eastern European blocks. But it's all about the money and the budget. As you probably know, the Barcelona, the big clubs, they have billions of pounds in the budget here over here now. So when we are going to the clubs and we are trying to give them the information, hey guys, the biggest value of your club, they are the fans. If you give them the tools, if you will show them opportunities so they can make money as well, on the same way they can support as they can support their beloved team, you can make a bunch of millions. Every year to your budget. It's simple as that. But they don't believe it. So it's like a lot of work on our side. When we are trying to, the first contact usually goes through the LinkedIn. We are sending email. We are trying to catch up on the meetup, personal of the online. We are trying to present the solution, the advantages of joining Zetly, what the platform is, etc., etc. So, but still, they always have a time. They always have a time for different things. So, in my opinion, in the closest futures, this trend will a little bit change, and in my opinion, we will get a lot of clubs on board very soon.
Well, and I think this is where everybody's going. Like just thinking about like FIFA, for example.
Come on! Don't talk about FIFA.
Okay,
we know what the FIFA is.
I'll talk about in the US. I'll talk about the NFL in the USA. So
all right,
if we talk,
in my opinion, the most well organized organization.
Yeah, no, for sure, and their marketing is very, very tight. There's very just everything, all the sponsorship stuff, even just the way the broadcasts are done. Like the broadcasts are these massive multimedia experiences now. And I imagine, I've talked to someone who I know, Robert Rice, with his stuff and the way that he's envisioned, bringing the field into the crowd with all of the AR stuff.
Their solution is the best one. This is how, in my opinion, the sports metaverse going to looks like, building the digital, let's say, replica of the arena. And so in my opinion, this is how the digital twin and the sports metaverse is going to look like.
So I know you've worked a bit with him, or you've at least talked about working with him, because I see his logo on your website. Like, what is how did he present to you? How did you end up becoming friends or partners or whatever?
We met in Dubai last year on the BSV conventions, on the convention center. He was presenting his solution. So that was funny thing, because he was presenting like the virtual donuts, but you can exchange in the metaverse for the real ones.
Nice.
And I said, and I just come over him on the networking area. Hey, I would love to exchange my donut for the real one. So we just start laughing, we just catch the positive vibration through each other. So, and because I'm kind of visionary and can, connect a lot of dots, I got an idea to create a pilot program, which is the win-win for everybody, for Haste Arcade, Joe, who is on the BSV blockchain, for Transmira, for ourselves, and for the BSV as well, who needs the community. So I think that everybody recognized the pilot program as something win-win. So we decided to launch it, and the funds to cover the first 3 stages of the providing the digital replica, it's going to be provided by selling our token on the exchanges in the future.
Okay, sure.
So that was my idea, just to
I know Robert has a digital twin of me somewhere. because
You know?
he's given me a full body scan on his machine.
Yeah, he promised me, Mike, you already have some kind of, a virtual, estates. This is our club where we are going to party as avatars.
Yeah, no, he put me in I'm in a boxing pose, like, you know, chin's tucked and that kind of thing. I'm excited to see it, pop out in the metaverse someday. What are you guys doing with Haste Arcade? You mentioned Joe, who's a guy I just actually went and hung out with him in Austin, Texas, like 2 weeks ago. Spent a couple of nights. What are you guys doing with Haste?
Part of the pilot program, as the part of our Zetly platform, is the play to earn module. So I just asked Joe if he can, build a dedicated play to earn game for a selected club with the branded logo, maybe the card mechanics, because I have a guy who can create any kind of game based on the card mechanics. So he will be part of the pilot program, and in the future I hope so that he will provide us a lot of his experience and the technology part to build the play to earn games to our platform.
That's awesome. Like, what a great team. I love those guys. So you have found a really good way to bring a lot of people together. I'm surprised just how much reach you've got into all kinds of different play. I mean, you've got Ethereum and the Polygon people, you got a bunch of BSV people, you have a big team. You're the CEO. So what's it like being the visionary and then also the manager to manage all of these things at once? I think, and I asked this question because I want more people who watch my show to think like a CEO. So do you have a piece of advice or something you can give to people who really want to be a CEO and bring people together?
Okay, when you will ask my team of my members, they will say, "Hey, Mike is a little bit kind of crazy guy. He always push, he always fight. Do it faster, do it faster." You have to be open-minded. I always been interested in many things, right? When it comes to the event agency, when you go to the empty field and you have to build a festival for 5,000 people, you have to, plan and design everything in your head right away. Where the stage, where the evacuation roads will be, and the attraction, infant tables, etc., etc. So I got that kind of skill, but I can design and create anything in my mind. So it's a natural way. I used to organize many mountain expeditions. So I do have the skills to organize and put everything to the very, very small details. And I love to talk to people. I always believe in, natural way of communication. So I'm kind of people who is like open-minded, friendly, very easygoing, always smiling. So when the people are talking to me, they recognize us very positive way. It's about the Taurus. So we were together with Rafał, my very good friend. We believe that everything is vibration. Everything is the frequency and the vibration. So whenever you are, sharing the positive vibration, the people can catch it. So that's why you can, put a very big snowball, which in the future cause the avalanche. Yep.
Oh, beautiful. So this is a good question. Like, we've talked a lot about football or soccer for my American viewers, but what are the most popular sports leagues on Zetly? And do you want it to be, can it be football, basketball, or do you want to focus on one thing?
When we were building the Zetly platform and the business model, we realized that here in the eastern part of the Europe, a lot of clubs, they don't have sufficient funds, to be, to release the fund tokens, to pay for everything. So we decided to be the platform for everybody. So in the closest future, we probably launch the new, the sandbox, which is going to be some kind of, kindergarten for the smaller clubs, for the individual athletes, but they can through with us, they can join the Web3 journey. So we don't describe the Zetly platform as the platform only for football or for the volleyball. We would love to be a platform for everybody, because I do not recognize that, the turnover of the platform, it comes from the big names, right? It comes from the fans. So whenever you will educate them, whenever the clubs, they will create a conscious users market for a digital assets, they already have the the liquidity for the fan tokens for the digital collectives. Same, we do recognize it. So we would love to invite, and we're going to invite everybody, right? Since our main competitor Socios mostly operate on the Western market, including the USA, we recognize the huge opportunity here in Europe, starting from Estonia to Turkey, plus the Africa, because probably, as you know, I used to be a speaker on the World Football Summit in Africa. Durban met a lot of football clubs and the federation. So we would love to put a lot of big foot on the Africa market as well. Yeah, and we do recognize, let's say, the huge opportunity. They cannot put everybody on the Socios platform. Yeah. So since the spot is huge, there are hundreds of clubs, many disciplines, so we do recognize there's a huge opportunity for us to create a very, very powerful platform, let's say, here in Europe.
Well, it's funny. I don't know if this is the case in the U.S. or in Europe, but in the U.S., college athletes are not allowed to be paid, but college sports.
Why?
Because they're students.
They're amateurs. Okay.
Yeah, like they're some of them are 17 years old when they get drafted to play at a college.
You guys in America have sometimes you have different regulations which I cannot understand it.
I know.
With you. When I was young, just to let you know, just as a funny thing, when I was living in the South Lake Tahoe, you were in the city, so you cannot go with the open container as a beer right across the street where it was the Nevada. You just cross the traffic lights, and you can even you can just drink a beer over there. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But, so I think the logic is that they're students, they're not professionals. But what people are arguing is that something like the sports teams are bringing in at some schools, like an overwhelming majority of the income for the entire school comes from the sports team. And then how can you say, well, why can't we pay the athletes that are bringing in this business, essentially?
Exactly.
And so this strikes me as potentially a way to help get college athletes get paid by direct fan engagement. I don't know if you start to break any rules by doing it necessarily, but it could be worth exploring.
Here in Europe, there are no such a regulation. You can, support even the young academy. Probably it's all about the agreement, because if they are not adults, so the agreement has to be signed by the parents, something like that. But they can be supported. For example, there are a lot of athletes here in my city that are already playing for a major, Italian clubs, and they are getting money for it, right?
Sure.
So it's a little bit. As you probably know, to raise your career, you need to have a funds. Sometimes the guys, the kids, they are not coming from the rich family, so there's only opportunity to catch the sponsorship deal, and you just you have a chance to expand your career.
Sure. No, it's I don't know. It's really interesting, like the way that we can disrupt, just weird, or in some cases just very outdated rules and things about who's allowed to participate in doing business. But this is really interesting. I'm not a huge sports fan, so for me, I prefaced this at the beginning of the interview, before you were on the interview. I said, like, I watch MMA, and I'll watch wrestling or judo because I really like combat sports, but I've never been a team sports fan. I'll watch an occasional basketball or football.
Oh, believe me, right. The experience, it's a lifetime experience. When you go with your favorite club on the away games, where I don't know, 200, 500, or even 1,000 guys here in Europe, every weekend the fans are following the beloved teams. So it's a lifetime experience, believe me. Even here, you guys don't have it in US, but we in Europe, we have it. Almost every second game, the Ultras fans, they prepare very nice, the very nice, let's say, some kind of spectacular thing for the fans. They're burning flares, the songs, the doping is huge. So it's like you have a goose feet on your hands. Like, wow.
No, I get it. and I enjoy going to a game. I do go to, but I mean, soccer is not like that in the US at all. It's a soccer game is a very quiet place.
Why you guys call it soccer?
I don't know. I have no idea. Well, because football is NFL football.
Maybe it's NFL football, all right.
I don't know. But
it's getting so much popular. I mean, because of the Beckham story, the Miami, of almost retired, well-known football players. They're going to the US. Yeah, the capacity on the arenas is like it's huge, like 40, 50, even 60,000 sometimes coming for a Galaxy or Galaxy games or the Miami.
No, for sure. Well, and I'd be open to going and checking it out, especially if there can be a Zetly sponsorship or something going on at the event.
When you be in Poland, just let me know. I can take you on one of the games here in Poland. You probably will love it.
For sure. Here's a good question from Alex. He's asking, can you talk about the IDO on your roadmap for this year? What is an IDO and how do you manage this?
Okay, it used to be in 2017. It used to be the ICO, right? Initial coin offering. Now the market, everything is converted for the IDO. So the IDO is the initial DEX offering. It's some kind of like the launchpad phase. We recognize the IDO as the launchpad phase. So we are going through the launch pads, provide them the tickets so that the community will be able to allocate our token through the software technology. So this is the IDO, something like the token generation event. So it's like
So do you have to pick a single DEX where you do that, or can you do it on multiple platforms? How does that work?
Oh, you can do it on the multi-platform. We are not going to offer our token through our website. Everything will go through the launchpads, which are organized and managed by the separate independent companies. It's like there are a lot of launchpads on the market, tier one. We are going to have a few of them from the tier one launchpads as well. So right now we had to postpone our IDO because it's already been planned for a Q2 April, May last year, but because of the current situation of the market, we had to postpone everything. And a couple of weeks ago, we decided even to change our tokenomics because our tokenomics was kind of old, not like prepared for a existing new let's say market expectations. So we just change everything, in my opinion, for much better for the investors, for the community and the retail investments as well.
Interesting. And then I presume Americans are not allowed to participate because they're usually not.
Nope, they don't.
Land of the free.
We cannot even offer our pre-seed equity. Which is FCA approved in the UK to the US investor. No, wow. Our official broker we cannot pitch to the US investor, which is for me kind of, let's say, I cannot just think why. Because since the blockchain is the centralization, since everything, I don't know why. It's all about the regulation, like I said.
Interesting. Is this a saturated market at all? I see one of these asking, who are your competitors? Are there either in the blockchain space or not in the blockchain space? Like, who are you competing with?
Okay, right now here in Europe, there are several companies who mostly do collect the data, optimize the data, trying to personalize the social media content through, or even the ticket system, by they all operating on the Web 2. They're not implementing the blockchain technology at all. So regarding the sports industry and the Web 3, as I told you before, the biggest competitor is Socios, who's already have probably 160 clubs and the institution on board. There's another company in Turkey, Bitchi, but Bitchi is the pure exchange. So their fund tokens who are listed on the exchange, they have only utility for a buy sell, right? Our main focus is to create a fun engagement through the utility. So in my opinion, the future of e-commerce is the NFT gating. So part of our platform, in the heart of our platform, there will be the custodial wallet. So in my opinion, this custodial wallet is something that's going to kill our competitors, in my opinion, because our solution is some kind of little bit different, right? So comparing to the going back to the competitors, Sorare, but Sorare keep focus on different things what we are, because you are buying the collectibles, you are building teams, you are playing against other guys, so it's a completely different business model as we are offering. I do not, and probably there is one more company, Blocksport, I guess so, from Switzerland, but they do release the fund tokens as a stable, right? We don't have a changing through it, so the value of their tokens is like stable, is described at the beginning with unlimited supply. So in my opinion, that solution can be offered on the web too. You don't need to have a blockchain. It is like just regular coupon or something, or regular token, which can be put it to any kind of application. It has nothing to do with the blockchain technology. So that's why we do recognize huge opportunity for the Zetly to become one of the major player on the Web3 sport industry market.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we are about 3 minutes from the top of the hour.
Oh, come on. Let's talk. Let's talk.
No, you know what? It's gone fast. This has been a very good interview. What's something that maybe you wish I asked, or something that you'd like everybody to know that maybe we haven't covered?
Since we operate on multi, a parallel way here right now, just come to join us. Come to join us, check what we are doing, subscribe our channels, be part of this idea, since we are going to, fuel the whole sports through our native token and our solution. Our solution is much different. The way how we're going to educate the clubs, how we're going to build the secondary market first, not going through the monetization, is something what the club, let's say the board members, the management teams, they're supposed to look at it right now, not just going through the monetization on the corner. So if there are any clubs or club or sports institution are watching us, just come over, arrange a meetup, call us. We will be happy to share the idea and just be part of the family.
Beautiful. Well, when it comes time for you to do big launch, big announcements, and when you announce what teams you're launching with, please let us know. I would love to have you back on the show to talk, do like a victory lap with you. Beautiful.
It will be pleasure. It will be pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. All righty. Thank you so much for hosting.
Yep. All right, everybody. So, man, there's so many people doing so many cool things in the space that it's funny when we go look for guests and say, hey, who should we talk to? We actually had 5 or 6 people that we reached out to because we realized we didn't have this week booked, and very quickly it's like, oh yeah, we'd love to come on the show and talk about this really cool thing we're up to. And so we're stacking up the show to bring in all kinds of cool stuff. If you have announcements you'd like to make, if there's something you want to talk about, even if there's something, the last 2 shows we talked about I'm 2 weeks ago, and then we had Ordinal, the one sat Ordinals launch we talked about last week. And then, to cut over to this is like, there's so much stuff going on that is it's just exciting. It's exciting to watch people build a business on one side and build a new protocol on another side, or build tooling that we've always needed and that kind of thing. So if you're doing something really cool, we would love to talk to you on the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. I challenge you, please reach out to Mr. Alex Moon. He would very much love to take your information, put you on the schedule, figure out where we can fit you in and do a really good show. And if you want to advertise with us, he's also the right man to talk to. So please reach out to him and talk about what to do here. So, okay, Alex is saying maybe we're booked for the next month, but there's always a month after. So also, if there's something really special going on, we can do a special with you. Just reach out. We'll get it figured out. Alex, I know you can handle it. So everybody, I'm going to wrap up. I want to remind everybody, per usual, focus on value. Focus on building something. Don't be afraid to go be a salesman. We can't all just sit behind computers all day. So close a deal. It's really important to just get some freaking customers, everybody. So I think if I have any advice, it's that. Like, do business that creates value. get your customers coming back, take your customer feedback, try to do something good with it. So I'm going to wrap up because I'm done. So everybody, I'm Kurt Wickert Jr. This has been the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. You can join us next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. It's going to be another killer show. Announcements to come. And oh yeah, be good to each other. Goodbye.
Industry-shifting ideas can start from individuals or people committed to solving global and industry issues. This is your chance to network with experts and connect with a future collaborator at the London Blockchain Conference. Throughout history, significant innovations have resulted from successful collaborations. In 1903, brothers Orville and Wilbur Wright made it possible for us to achieve our dream of flying. In 1977, Steve Jobs' marketing flair and Steve Wozniak's engineering magic helped jumpstart the personal computer revolution. In 1990, Tim Berners-Lee worked with systems engineer Robert Cailliau to pave the way for the World Wide Web. The world would look very different without the innovations of these incredible collaborations. Come to the London Blockchain Conference, where visionaries like yourself convene and create value partnerships that could lead to future collaboration and the next world-changing solution.